connected with some more locals. This is a big picture item right here. So I'm just going to start with Matthew and Vincent, and they're going to tell you what's going on between them, what they've got going, but going back to in terms of like what local community can do to grow the sport of cycling. This would be a great example of what's going on in Fayetteville. Is that where you're proper?
Mm-hmm.
Fayetteville is a town just south of or east of Bentonville. Mm-hmm. But it's a college class. It's about frame building, and which again, just at the very root of creating bicycles and bicycle culture and community. So Matthew, you want to just maybe...
Yeah, absolutely. So about a year ago, we started a few different programs on campus that are basically all geared at growing the outdoor economy, growing the outdoor talent pipeline so that we can continue to develop that here in Northwest Arkansas. So one of those things is an outdoor industry certificate that any undergraduate student can do. It's based in the School of Business, so we focus on the business skills for outdoor industry. We've gone and visited Allied and done a lot within cycling. Obviously, that's a huge part of the industry here in Northwest Arkansas. And then recently, partnering up with the School of Art here, who's getting ready to launch their frame building class. And so that's what this guy is here, is Vincent actually doing that. So.
Yeah. So Vincent, you're the instructor at the class?
Yeah, I'll be the primary instructor of that class. Give you a little bit of back history on how I came to be here and in line to take on this project and share this with students. So I moved here in 2016 to start the digital fabrication and design labs for the School of Art. So when I came, there was really no technology at all within the School of Art. So designed and built out a lab where we do 3D CAD design, 3D printing, CNC milling, plasma cutting, laser cutting, engraving, and we've been gradually growing that and integrating it throughout the School of Art. And then just last semester, my director approached me, and he knows Steve McGuire, who started up the bike frame building program at the University of Iowa in Iowa City, which has been running for more than 10 years now. And so Steve came and visited, and they actually built a frame in our metal shop. They showed 3 or 4 of their custom bikes in our sculpture gallery, and kind of in the middle of that visit, Steve came to me and said, you know, I'm getting close to retirement age. I'd really love to see this thing that I do grow beyond just Iowa. Yeah. And, you know, we think you'd be a really good person with your history and cycling and fabrication to take this on for the University of Arkansas. So I will also add that we mentioned this early on to the Walton College Outdoor Recreation Program, and they actually facilitated Steve's talks here at the Collaborative in Bentonville and came on almost immediately as a partner wanting to, you know, kind of leverage what we could do in terms of fabrication in the classroom with the School of Art with the programming that they're building.
Yeah, it's a really cool combination of, you know, the design skills and the artistic side, trying to marry it with some industry experience as well. So one of the courses that's going to lead into this is a design class where students will get some history of frame building and cycling. They'll get some exposure to some different players within the cycling industry as well. So they're kind of getting a really holistic experience from this as well. So hopefully they can come out of this, maybe, you know, start their own thing, maybe go work for some cycling industry, or just use it in different ways. But we're hoping that they have a pretty robust foundation for doing a lot within the industry with it.
And did I hear you mention something about trail building too, or something like that?
So there is with the community college here at Northwest Art. Right. Yeah, so they have one. Now we are looking at that on campus. That would be our School of Architecture. They're looking at potentially developing a trail design program as part of their landscape architecture. So we're really hoping they do, because we'd love to partner with them as well on some of the things they're doing. But really, it's just we're trying to really make the University of Arkansas a place that students think to come to when they think playing outside, when they think outdoor industries. Trying to change the culture there and get as much of our students involved in it in any way as possible, whether they're engineering, art, landscape architecture, whatever the case. There's a place for them to fit in within the industry.
Yeah, it's really amazing, because I mean, like everybody started hearing about Bentonville a couple years ago, and it's kind of grown and grown and grown, and with the, it's got, Big Sugar, the race and everything, and I've seen this Women of Oz thing going on here, which is blowing my mind about seeing so many women on mountain bikes just like all day long here. It's a constant parade, you know. Bike murals on the wall, you know, and then I went to the Caden School.
Yep.
Yeah,
Caden
and then I went to the community college program for the frame building, and they're talking about, like you just referenced. And then here's at university level, more bicycles. So I mean, it's like, as much as I, you know, maybe admittedly was kind of given a little bit of hindsight to that, or not hindsight, but just like when I hear, like, you know, Bentonville, capital of, you know, mountain biking, you know, and I was like, no way, you know. It's like, I always say finger quotes because you know, I mean, I'm an old time mountain bike guy, so for me, like, you know, that's kind of like, that's a hefty title to take on.
Yeah.
And yet, so now I'm here, and it's like, it's amazing how pervasive cycling is throughout this whole community. I mean, it's like, it's in Arkansas, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
and what do you think that, like, how is that, like, fostering itself? And I mean, like, where's this momentum coming from? I mean, I know the Walton guys, of course, you know, huge, right? I mean, that kind of private money coming in and doing the trails and everything, but it's just like, it's not just the bike park, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, so anyways, where is this coming from?
It's the effort that's being put in to the culture at all levels. I think that's the really brilliant part of it.
I mean, there's grade school, college, university
I mean,
level, right?
our mountains here may not be that big, but if you look at the kind of programming that ties that whole broader cycling community together, you compare it to a lot of other places, I think that's what really makes this like a rich place to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we obviously, primarily Tom and Stuart Walton, and their giving is, you know, no way to like underscore how big of an impact that is. But I think there was a good foundation for that. You know, we're known as the natural state, so it's something that I think Arkansans already took pride in. Is our natural spaces. In Fayetteville, you know, we have some of the oldest trails there, hand cut from back in the day, that have, you know, the small community, everybody just kind of doing it on their own. And so when you inject that investment in it, suddenly it was just, everybody was excited about it, and trying to collaborate. You mentioned Thaden School. We actually had a parent come, and he's like, oh, I want to tell my son about this because he's looking at going to these other schools outside of the area. We'd love to keep him here. And so bringing these opportunities not only to attract people in, but also just to get people excited that already live here and give them opportunities to say, this is a worthwhile investment to make. It, you know, improves your quality of life, but it can also provide a livelihood for you, and you can make a living out of it.
Yeah, wow, super impressive. What kind of lesson, I mean, in terms of if there's like an overarching message for budding frame builders, what would that be?
Well, I think for our program, what we're hoping to do is to attract like a really diverse set of students and put them together in the same classroom. So we want some mechanical engineering students, we want some outdoor product design students, and we want some people from art that are already incredible fabricators and who are thinking creatively outside of the box, working together. And the bike frame, I think, is really just a catalyst for thinking about design and fabrication within the cycling industry more broadly. So, you know, there's been talk of doing something similar at NWAC at the community college level, and I hope they can do that as well. There's been talk of doing something similar at Thaden School at the high school level, and I hope they do that as well. I think what we want to bring to it is really that melting pot of different skill sets and talents at the university level, just to spark that conversation up to that level, to look at, you know, design history and evolution, and then start to think about design future. And that's where my background with technologies comes in. We saw, you know, a beautiful 3D printed, bonded carbon and titanium bike here today. And I have the skill set from a design standpoint to create all those parts already. And I think we need to be bringing people like that into our classroom, because that's really the future of cycling, the ability to look at an idea and then draft it up in a few days, prototype it, and get out on the trail and ride it. We've never had a turnaround that fast before. And that's just going to keep pushing innovation.
Yeah, I think, you know, one thing is reflected in this community that's here today is also just surround yourself with people that are doing it. You know, there's so many things to learn from what other people are doing, and so many different skill sets that different people have, that if you can find yourself a community that has that sharing culture and it has those varying skill sets, I think you'll be able to really take off quickly and do some cool things with that. So that's one thing we're hoping to do as well, is just bringing that talent to rub shoulders with each other,
Yeah.
to bring different groups together, to share ideas and innovate and do some things that haven't been done before. Bringing some different skills together.
Yeah, super impressive, and just congratulations to you guys and everyone in this community, because again, I'm coming from LA, where it's, we have our own bike culture, but it's just nothing like this at all in terms of how expansive it is. And again, just goes, again, all the different groups of people. I mean, and it's mind blowing. So I mean, kudos to Bentonville, and the Waltons for sure, which is again its own side story for sure. But I mean, you guys are just like, I think at the just ground level of something just seemingly getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, it's exciting to think about 5 years from now, where's this going to be in terms of Bentonville and Fayetteville's place in the bigger bicycle world, in terms of changing minds and changing lives, right?
Sure.
So thanks very much for coming down today and being part of the program.
Yeah, good chatting with you.
All right, cheers.